Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whenever you are watching. Thank you for checking out the 6-Minute Daily. Hey, no mic check today. We were running a little tight on time. Probably not going to be able to do the Culture Casino news over on Odyssey until later in the day. Normally, I do that about 25 minutes or so after we're done here, but we'll have to move that to later in the day, and obviously they'll show up when Odyssey does, much like doing a 2-minute warning here, hopefully. But anyway, let's move on. We've got a lot of stories to talk about, at least 6 or 7. So let's take a look at what stories we have to give you. First of all, the Oscars are in a weird place because they're changing the rules once again. And they set these about 11 a.m. yesterday. And unfortunately, I didn't get an opportunity to talk about them. I think we briefly covered them at the end of the Midnight's Edge in the Morning stream yesterday. But real quickly, they're changing the rules so that you have to be in theaters for at least 7 days in order to be considered for an Oscar. That means that you're going to have to actually have a theatrical release, and that's going to put, again, Amazon and a few others under some pressure to have distribution. And that's going to be a weird situation because at the same time, you're going to have some rule changes that may be implemented when it comes to actual acquisition of studios, because the federal government is now wanting to look into the acquisition of MGM by Amazon. So we'll have to see if that merger is actually approved at all, at least from the FTC's side of things. So we'll have to move on from there. We've got some other stories to go on. We also have the film industry's returning to work protocols have been extended indefinitely. That means that they're still going to be doing all the testing they were doing, mask requirements, everything else. They're not willing to hang this up yet. And, you know, if I'm not going to throw a bunch of conspiracy stuff or any type of deep thought at this, or, what is the other term? A critical thinking at this. I'm sure you can draw your own conclusions as to why this is being extended in an industry that is integral in communicating information to the populace in various forms and fashions. Moving on from there, the NCAA has set an interim policy allowing student athletes to make money on their likenesses. Well, that's great, considering there were a bunch of states that were already in the process of doing this. But at the same time, consider this as a taxpayer. Many of these state institutions, especially when it comes to, I guess I don't want to call them professional sports at this point, but it's dang close. These college athletes, they're being provided scholarships, which means your tax money is being utilized to support these programs. Now they're going to get paid on top of that. Maybe if you offer a student athlete a scholarship, they shouldn't be allowed to profit from their likeness. There are an awful lot of problems here, but you don't get to have both. If you get to have both, we're going to have words, and believe me, they're not going to like it. Again, at least this gives these kids a chance to earn some money in college, which has been incredibly restrictive with the jobs they can hold, et cetera, but they are a major source of revenue for these universities, and they pay for every other program, at least football does. So we'll have to go from there. The judge recently denied Britney Spears' request to remove her father from the conservatorship. Again, she actually has not formally canceled her conservatorship. Apparently, that's a step she could take, and that would solve all of this problem up front. But then she would have to be tested, to see if she was competent. Isn't she performing in Vegas almost daily? Doesn't that require some form of competency? I think I'm confused. Moving on from there, we have the rap coverage of the Geraldo Rivera, interview segment, whatever you want to call it, over on Fox, praising Bill Cosby's relief, and says something about Harvey Weinstein being, well, you can read the headline there. I don't want to say anything about, whether or not he's right or wrong. What I want to say is he put some time and thought into this and was pretty eloquent on Fox as to the reasons why. The way the justice system works in this United States has to be preserved, and at this point, it may not be. Moving on from there, we have Colbert mocking the NYC election snafu with a perfectly okay computer mistakes like cat on the keyboard. Interesting. And from there, we have the last thing on the docket, which is Apple striking a deal with Roku to add Apple TV to one of the buttons there on the bottom. That's a pretty good move for them, considering Roku TV is about ready to surpass the number of connected devices that Samba has. And again, they will have a lot more transparency for you and I, because at least we'll know roughly what people are watching, and we'll know some streaming numbers of streaming shows, and we will see the commercials attached to some of these services that are now offering a ad-free service. Anyway, I want to say thank you to our latest member, ToxFox, for joining us. Be sure to catch all of the other amazing programs today. Thursday's an incredibly busy day. Make sure you see the LeGaming Lounge channel, LeGaming Chat, Twibs, and all the other things that I get to participate in, including Comics Division at the end of the day for Thursday Throwdown. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, bye.
Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.
And happy Canada Day indeed.